Good morning. It's 9:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know if you're watching on Super Talk TV. Dan loosens up this mic, and now I'm trying to reposition it. It's like slowly falling over. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna touch it.
What?
I don't know what to do.
A little limp.
It was like it just frumped over. It's weird. It's a weird thing that happens. And I don't have a screwdriver.
I also don't like how vertical it is now.
I know, but if I adjust it the way I want it, see how it falls? It's awkward. I don't know what to do. I don't know. We're not off to a good start. We're not off to a good start, guys. This is not good. Is that better? I think I got it.
I think I just witnessed you assaulting a microphone.
With both hands. So.
Not going there.
What? We got a lot to get to today. I was going to be really excited. I was going to say, you know who's on the show tomorrow? John Rose. And then I got a text on my way in. Said, hey, John's got to cancel tomorrow. It's like, oh. All
Did
right.
they give a reason?
He's got to be in Washington.
What?
Ridiculous. I don't know. I'm like, man, dude, what are you trying to do? You trying to be in Washington or are you trying to be the governor of Tennessee? You know? Let's set up some priorities here.
If he would have said Washington County, that would have been a little forgivable.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm obviously kidding. Like, do your thing, man. I get it. You got to go to work. People be working, Sometimes you got to do it.
People be sexting.
615-737-9996 if you want to hit that number. Phone lines are open as well. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. We're up and running on YouTube and Rumble as well. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. My kids eat a lot better when the likes are up. Otherwise, it's bread and water. So John Rose is supposed to be on the show tomorrow. Doesn't seem like it's happening anymore. They said they are going to reschedule an in-person, in-studio interview. They did offer a phoner, and I was like, really wanted it to be in studio. Because I think that you get a lot more from these candidates when you're able to watch their body language and see how they kind of process the questions in real time. It's one of the reasons why Dan's series of interviews with the gubernatorial candidates were so good. I think it's one of the reasons why my interview with Monty Fritz has gotten as many views as it did. And I think that you want to be able to see it. You can polish up an answer, but does the candidate squirm as the question is being asked? I mean, body language tells you a whole story. So I was like, thank you for offering the phone interview, but I do want it in person, in studio. So we'll see. We'll see if we get that rescheduled or not. Marsha Blackburn is also available to come, or welcome to come on the show. I don't know how available she is these days. She's welcome to come on the show anytime she would like. I do understand that she's got some fundraising trips set up for Atlanta. So maybe the schedule's full. That's after the primary, though. Yeah, did you know that? She's fundraising in Atlanta after the primary. So that's something to do. Something to do. Monty Fritz has a big rally tonight in Lebanon, Tennessee. I will be in attendance. Are you coming, Sam?
I'm still uncommitted.
You're still uncommitted.
See, if I had gotten out of here at a certain time, it'd be a little bit easier answer. But now I might be here till noon on 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, it was Sunday. You could have gone to bed earlier.
Yeah, my wife was out of town Friday and Saturday most of the day. So, got to get that QT, that quality time with my QT.
Okay. That's a take.
You want me to have kids or not?
I do. I think we all need to have more kids. I can't repopulate this place on my own. I'm going for the high score, by the way.
Got a basketball team at home.
Dude, I'm telling you, I need one of those Sprinter vans. That's what I need. I told my wife, I said, listen, until we get the likes up, the best I can afford is a used short bus.
Listen, let's get one of those 2000s Astro vans with the TVs in the back.
Yeah. Dude, those
are
are sick. Those are sick. Yeah, I got to do something. We need like an old church bus. That's what we need. You know what I mean? One's like a little bit too squeaky, a little rickety. It makes you a little nervous. There's no seatbelts. That's probably what I can afford. Maybe on a payment plan if I get my credit up. That's probably my speed. I think.
Like and subscribe, people.
One that hasn't had its oil changed in a while. Like, you know, like that's what oil looks like after that long, huh? Like it's probably what I could do. It's probably what I could afford. Please like and subscribe. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm not a huge fan of soccer. I think I've made no bones about that. You know how many World Cup games I watched? Absolutely none. Absolutely none. And I was still annoyed every time it was on my timeline. Like, I'm like, scroll past this. Nobody needs to see this. I mean, it's like we fight against the indoctrination of our children, yet a lot of people just open the door for this wild, wacky sport of football, and I'm not a fan. And I'm even less of a fan after our interview with Danielle Chaffin on Friday, who was awesome, by the way, third-generation trucking expert. She is an invaluable resource when it comes to the trucking industry and her expertise behind the scenes. But she said to me, a lot of these people are coming in for the World Cup, and she did air quotes, they're coming in for the World Cup, and then they're staying and they're trying to get jobs in the trucking industry, just in case you didn't need another reason for why we shouldn't be approving of and allowing this soccer thing to go on. Luckily, it's over, though. Praise God. Praise the good Lord. We don't have to deal with this anymore. And then the World Cup, is it like Olympics? Like we don't have to deal with it for another 4 years?
I think so.
Thank goodness. It's enough. Do it somewhere else next time. Honestly. Pick somewhere where like they're cool with all that kind of wackiness. Like, I don't know.
Pakistan.
There you go. That'd be cool.
There'd be no female fans allowed.
Nope. Do it wherever, not here. I think that's where my vote would be for. Anywhere else, they'd be like, but Chris, it was such good PR. All of the people visiting, they loved it. Yeah, they loved it so much they're going to stay. They're going to try and get jobs in the trucking industry. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. But yesterday, there was the big championship game with España and Argentina. You have to say it with the accent. You have to. And Donald Trump was there. And he walked out, and people were happy to see him. And then he presented the medals. Here's the other thing that I didn't know happened in soccer. And it's like, you know what? This tracks, actually. The losing team gets a medal, too. Did you see that? It's like, oh, here's a participation ribbon for everybody. Congratulations on second place.
They also gave one out for third.
They gave one out for third, too?
In fact, they had England and France play in the third place match.
Is this the kind of values we want to bestow upon our children? Is this what we want to do? They gave out a medal for third place.
They played a game over it.
They played a game for who's the third loser.
Yes.
This is really embarrassing, you guys. And everybody cheered this on. Did you guys know about this before this started?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a take. Donald Trump handed out gold medals at the end, and he kept whispering to something to people. And I'm not a professional lip reader. I'm not. But I am a part-time lip reader. And I think after he shook everyone's hand, he kept saying, you have to go back. He shook their hands, and he said, you have to go home. He gave them the medal. He said, good job, go home. Over and over. Again, go home. See that? If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you're seeing the lip reading. Good job, go home. Here's their medal, go home. Which, at least I can respect that. I can respect that. Good job, go home. That's it, every time. He said it to everybody. So that was cool. That was probably my favorite part when Trump was presenting the medals and saying, go home. You did good. You did good. Now go home. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, the Iran conflict is just going bananas. Absolute haywire over the weekend. And after Donald Trump left the World Cup championship game, he did run into some reporters on the tarmac, and he did acknowledge the loss of three great patriots as of right now. This was the president yesterday.
Well, we feel very badly, but those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three as opposed to two great patriots.
That was the president yesterday as he was departing the World Cup in New Jersey. Here's a story from NBC. You heard the president say three. This starts with two. 2 U.S. service members were killed Friday while defending against an Iranian ballistic missile and drone attack in Jordan. And another service member is missing, U.S. Central Command said Saturday. CENTCOM said the troops were killed in an action as U.S. and partner forces responded to the attack. It did not specify where in Jordan the attack occurred or provide additional details about the circumstances. 4 other American service members were medically evacuated to hospitals in Jordan but have since been discharged, CENTCOM said. Other personnel who were evaluated for minor injuries have returned to duty. Prayers going out to the families and the friends of these soldiers, the people that serve with them as well. I mean, it's a heartbreaking story. We do have the names of the 2 service members killed by Iranian missile strikes in Jordan. It was First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan, 25 of Iwa Beach, Hawaii, and Private Isabella Gonzalez, 19 of Carrollton, Texas. Heartbreaking. A 19-year-old girl, 25-year-old man. I mean, that sucks. I mean, there's no getting around that. These 2 individuals should have had their whole lives ahead of them. President Trump ordered a 9th night of strikes in retaliation per CENTCOM. Prayers up for these heroes, these patriots. Prayers up for their families, their friends. I can't even imagine what those families are going through. And I'm not even going to begin to try. You know, we've been communicating with my niece, who is 18, and she is at West Point. She went to West Point, and she's going through her training, and we haven't been able to touch base with her. And it's like we finally got a word of communication back after she starts the training. They like shut down comms for a while. Like, you just got to go into training. And she's like, so she sent a text last night to everybody, all caps, "I'm alive." And it's like, all right, Anna, let's go. But Anna's 18. You know, to think that this young lady, Isabella Gonzalez, is 19, that's not too far off. So, you know, it puts things into perspective. These are young people, and that's heartbreaking. President Trump said that the U.S. is bombing Iran very, very hard in retaliation for these deaths of American troops. And I mean, this is what you got to do. This is the only thing that the Iranians are going to respect. And you can make an argument that we're only in this because of Israel. And it's like, okay, but did Israel make Iran launch those missiles? No. So what do we do now? We're here now. I think prosperity nukes might be in order, but this is the president.
Well, we feel very badly, but those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. They don't control anything.
We'll talk more about the strikes via CENTCOM moments after departing the World Cup. President Trump started bombing Iran. We'll talk about the Strait of Hormuz. We'll talk about oil prices, and Marco Rubio weighs in for comment. All that and more on the way. It's 9:20. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
An explosion at a federal building in New York City where ICE has a pretty big presence. Got that story coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, we will definitely be listening to the newscast with Joan Jones coming up in less than 5 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. You can call the show. You can text the show, 615-737-9986. I'm getting a lot of texts. People be texting. People be texting. Chris Hand, don't be a whiny soccer Karen, says 1586.
Wow.
Yep. Hand, it's like the Olympics. Gold, silver, and bronze.
For kicking a ball.
What's Hand's deal? The Olympics has gold, silver, and bronze. I didn't realize all of you people fell for the soccer pill. You fell for the indoctrination and propaganda of the globalists, and now you're all in bed with big soccer. Is that what's happening? Are you guys on the take? Did you get paid $7,000 for that text? Is that what's happening?
Tel Aviv is calling.
Is that a $7,000 text you just sent me? Oh, it's just like the Olympics. You don't have a problem with the Olympics, do you? I do, actually. I do. I believe it was Ricky Bobby who once said, if you're not first, you're last. So, yeah. Plus, I mean, what the Olympics, they're just putting dudes in girls' sports now. The medals don't mean anything, right? They're not gonna be able to do it here. But the last one in Paris was pretty wild. I mean, that dude beat the brakes off that girl. So, she got silver, though. Hey, congrats.
CTE is in your future, but you got a medal.
Congrats. Listen, everybody that took the soccer pill, it's just embarrassing. I don't know. I'm sorry. Not a fan. It's over, though. Thank God. Praise the Lord. We don't have to deal with it much longer. 2435 gets it. Soccer is a communist sport. Thank you. Thank you. It is. All right. We have real news to talk about. Enough of the soccer. I'm so glad it's over. I am so glad it's over. Like, I've never been more excited for something to be over than the World Cup. It's just, and like, of all the places you're going to have a championship game, New Jersey, I mean, come on. Yuck.
The bright, shining star of this country.
Look, off in the hazy distance is a real city. All right, never mind. Sorry. Moving on.
The home of Snooki.
I mean, what are you doing? Yeah. So literally, like, their claim to the fame. We got the Jersey Shore back in the early 2000s. We had JWoww.
Excuse me.
And then
You just call me Mike the Situation.
And then we had the World Cup that one time. Also Joan Jones. Home of Joan Jones.
New Jersey is broken up into two very distinct areas, North Jersey and South Jersey. You can have the North all you want. South Jersey is bucolic and beautiful and Jersey Shore-ish and
Joan is always running behind the scenes screaming, "The South will rise again." Is that what you were talking about?
yeah, absolutely.
That's what's all right. Good. She always does that. Like, unprovoked. She's just walking down the hall screaming, "The South will rise
South
again."
will rise again.
I had no idea you were talking about New Jersey.
That's it.
You're telling me for the first time. All right. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. We'll talk about Iran, Marco Rubio statements when we get back. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And there's been an explosion outside 26 Federal Plaza in New York City. That is a hub for federal operations, including the FBI and New York Immigration Court. A man was seen setting fire and then tossing an explosive device into that fire. On Friday, Border Czar Tom Homan on the Laura Ingraham Show predicted violence against ICE locations.
You and I talked about this a year and a half ago, Laura. I said if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, there will be bloodshed. And I'm saying it right now. There's still going to be more bloodshed unless they shut their mouth and let ICE enforce the laws that they enacted.
As for this morning's bombing, it does not appear that there are any injuries. The Joint Terrorism Task Force is now investigating. A Memphis woman due in court today after shooting to death a man she found hiding under her kid's bed. Action News 5 in Memphis.
36-year-old Kendra Scott, no relation to the company, has been charged and arrested with first-degree murder and employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. Her bond has not been set.
Police say the child invited the man into the home, opening the back door for him about 1 o'clock in the morning. And a crazy story out of Connecticut where a man purchased a 4-bedroom home sight unseen at a foreclosure auction. Not unusual, the Wall Street Journal says homeowners and renters are usually allowed to remain in the home until the closing, and there aren't any inspections allowed. While that man got the keys, entered the house, and found 3 dead bodies inside. Among them, the former owner of the home and her son. It's not clear why they had not even ever been reported missing. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I'm giving you my full seal of approval on the new tech that they have in stock. Nobody can touch Dr. Mitchell when it comes to healing and cutting-edge technology, and they've done it again with the brand new Medical Bay 1. We've been talking about it for a while, but let me remind you, this is a futuristic healing machine designed by Dr. Mitchell himself. You sit back in this thing getting a full-body massage while red light, near-infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells exactly how God designed them to respond. And it'll stimulate your stem cells for real tissue regeneration at the cellular level. Epic healing only at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And don't forget, they also have non-surgical spinal decompression, but what they're not pushing is surgery, painful injections, or opioids. Not their style. They prefer to focus on real relief. Right now, they're running the Epic Spinal Special, $33 off each visit. You can launch your pain-free voyage today at painisbad.com, or you can call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. Click, call, whatever's easier for you, 615-246-5009, or painisbad.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. I was going to do the Marco Rubio comments, but we're pivoting because of what has been happening in New York City this morning. An explosive device was discovered at the Federal Plaza in NYC. That's where immigration proceedings are held. Joint Terrorism Task Force has launched an investigation. Leftists and terrorism. It's like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I do feel like we're witnessing, people say history repeats itself. I think it rhymes. It feels like we're back in like the 70s with the leftists becoming radical terrorists. But nobody talks about that
Except they're hairier because they're all on testosterone.
It's true. Beefier terrorists.
It's that vegan diet.
You know, I hope they all get diarrhea from the lettuce. So this is what we got coming out of Fox News.
This breaking news out of New York City and Lower Manhattan. The FBI revealing moments ago someone's been arrested after deploying an incendiary device outside of 26 Federal Plaza, Lower New York City. It's a hub for federal operations, including the FBI. The New York field office, and also the New York Immigration Court is located inside that building. The FBI is saying an individual is in custody, and the FBI New York Joint Terrorism Task Force now investigating that incident. It's happening right now. More developments when we get them.
We'll be following this story very, very closely. The last time that an explosive device was thrown in New York City was by a radical Muslim outside of Mayor Mamdani's house. And it was thrown in the general direction of the guy who's training with Sam Rutherford behind the scenes, Gabe Victal, who's back there. Gabe knows a lot about bombs in New York City. He just does. It's crazy. Gabe wasn't there this time. He's in the safety of the producer's studio.
It's not really all that safe in here.
Safer.
Well, yeah.
Safer.
It'd be safest if the air purifier worked.
Safety is a spectrum. So...
Safetyism.
Tom Homan was, speaking of immigration, Tom Homan was everywhere over the weekend. He was on with Margaret Brennan. He was on with Fox News. And I feel like he was really kind of going back and forth on this line. Tom Homan is getting it from both sides right now. There are conservatives who don't feel like the mass deportations have been enough. My hand goes up. And Tom Homan had to push back against that. There are liberals who feel like the immigration enforcement has been too heavy-handed. Tom Homan has to push back against that. I like Tom Homan a lot. It feels like he's in between a rock and a hard place right now. And last week there was a big hubbub about illegal aliens being shot by ICE agents because, you know, they just, all they did was drive their car towards the ICE agent. That's it. I mean, it's not like it's a deadly weapon or anything. Then the memo came down, said no more traffic stops. We're not doing that. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And almost as soon as that memo came down, it was corrected and they said traffic stops are back on. Tom Homan confirmed that over the weekend.
Traffic stops are back on. And that is true. You got to have a body camera during a traffic stop, which I like. I want all agents to have body cameras because body cameras exonerate agents 90% of the time, right? It tells the truth. And why hasn't everybody have a body camera? Because the Democrats shut down the government. In that budget, there's $120 million more to buy body cameras. They said we had money before, but we didn't have money to do the storage, right? We didn't have money to hire people to do the thousands of Freedom of Information Act requests we're going to get. So we didn't have the money, so they held it up. If they would have not shut down the government, first of all, we'd have a lot more arrests and removals because they shut us down for months. And second of all, everybody would have a camera. So I think it makes sense to have cameras. And I think, I talked to Mark Wayne Mullen. I think his biggest concern when he made that decision was the safety of officers because with the threats with vehicles up nearly 2,000%, at what point will we not be quick enough? Then we'll go and bury an ICE agent, right?
I mean, Tom Homan understands the reality he's facing. You hear him starting to thread that needle. The numbers aren't where they need to be because the government's been shut down. And there might be, there's obviously some truth to that. But we also understand that they were funded pretty heavily in the big, beautiful bill. So we still want those numbers up. I want those numbers up. I don't think that the mass deportations have been enough yet. And Tom Homan has he's pointing fingers at places where, I mean, listen, he's not wrong when he says this, but I still think that we need to get these deportation numbers up. But he says that they had to release 65,000 illegal aliens because of activist judges. These are leftists.
With all the holdups that the Democrats give us in terms of everything on this president's agenda, including Save America Act, it feels like the one thing that we could possibly carry out beyond just closing down the border, which the president has done and you have done and has been fantastic, is the promise of these mass deportations. Now, there's been rumblings that perhaps now it's just targeted. Now it's just we're going to go after the worst of the worst, which I want them out too, but that perhaps this goal of mass deportations is not the mission anymore under this secretary.
I mean, to be fair, the going after the worst first made a lot of sense like the first 6 months to a year. But at this point, like, we need to expand outward and go after everyone. Like, how many years do you need to say we're going after the worst first? We voted Donald Trump in for mass deportations. Not just the worst first. Everybody.
So I want to give you a chance to explain to the American people where we are in that process.
Mass deportations is still the plan, but prioritization of the worst of the criminals doesn't mean we forget about everybody else. And let me give you a clear example where we're at. So 60% of everybody we're arresting right now is a criminal, 40% are non-criminal. So we are arresting a lot of non-criminals. I think 60% criminal, 40% non-criminal is actually better than 40% non-criminal, 60% non-criminal. I just think it's better. But the numbers are what they are now. A few months ago, people were screaming and yelling. The numbers are down. Well, the government was shut down. DHS was shut down. But what happens when we got the reconciliation bill passed? Right now, we're up 40% over the last year. So everybody says last year was a good year. It's a historic year last year. We arrested, deported more people than any president in history last year. Right now, we're on a track of beating that by 40% right now. In June, ICE arrested more illegal aliens in June than any month in history. I looked at the number this morning. July looks like it's tracking to beat June. So look, we're hitting on all cylinders right now. We're doing a great job. But when it comes to removals, we had record number of removals last year. But here's what people don't understand. They say, we want more, we want more, we want more. It's not a simple case of arresting, deporting. There's a process to find them, and there's a whole process between the arrests and deportations. What people don't understand, despite all the pushback we're getting right now, there's over 100 nationwide injunctions against us for arrests, detention, removals. Over 100. That's more nationwide injunctions than every president in the history of this nation combined. So it's an all-out assault on the Trump administration. So we got over 100 nationwide injunctions. The government was shut down for months. We have a record number of habeas cases filed by radical judges, where I was told yesterday the number is around 65,000 people that we arrested that we had to release because of habeas cases out of radical judges. So there's a lot we're fighting against, but more than any other president. But even though we have all those struggles with the courts and the open borders agenda, we're still breaking records.
That's fair. There's a lot of struggles. There's a lot of issues. But to say you're breaking records, that's okay. I mean, yes, fair, true. But we have 20 to 30 million illegal aliens in this country. So even if you're getting out 2 million a year, 15 years to get them all out, it's not going to fly. And then we might have another Democratic president in the Oval Office that's going to just reopen the border or trash every Trump executive order. It's all of this can be undone very, very quickly, is what I'm saying. Now, I like Tom Homan a lot. I like the fight that he has. I like the fight from the Trump administration. I saw something the other day as we were kind of going through the show prep process. Donald Trump is going to pull a page out of Bill Clinton's playbook. Yep. This is to bypass the courts. Trump taps Clinton-era alien terrorist removal court for dangerous migrant deportations. Breitbart has a story. In a historic first-of-its-kind maneuver designed to bypass the gridlock of activist immigration courts, the DOJ has officially activated a powerful 30-year-old national security weapon to aggressively deport suspected foreign terrorists from American soil. The DOJ filed a petition before the Alien Terrorist Removal Court, ATRC, to remove an as-yet unidentified person accused of being a terrorist. The ATRC was created by Congress in 1996 during the Clinton administration and has never heard a case in its 30-year history. But on Wednesday, federal prosecutors ended 3 decades of bureaucratic dormancy by filing the first ever application with the secretive Alien Terrorist Removal Court, the emergency wartime tool originally signed into law during Speaker Newt Gingrich's Congress in 1996, but left buried by previous administrations. It empowers the executive branch to present classified intelligence directly to a specialized panel of federal judges under tight seal, completely cutting through the red tape and endless appeals favored by open borders advocates. Now, remember this story, okay? So they're going in and they're taking the Clinton era Alien Terrorist Removal Court. At the same time, Marco Rubio just designated 2 Mexican cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I have a hard time not seeing that these two could be related, these two stories. Maybe I'm just connecting the dots, but that's what I like to do. I like to connect dots. The U.S. has designated 2 more Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations, and I just have a feeling they're going to be using this ATRC a lot more.
Designated 2 Mexican cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. The Juarez cartel and Los Fiacres are considered violent narco-terrorists who previously killed Americans. I know we're paying attention to Iran, but we should be paying attention to things close at home too.
Yeah, we should. I would absolutely support bombing all of these cartels, drone striking them. I think we have the technology to locate them and then target them very, very quickly, and I wish we would. But it doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. We'll see if that changes. Claudia Sheinbaum, great elected leader of Mexico. She doesn't want the military's help. Meanwhile, Tom Homan he's still catching heat from both sides, the left and the right. They brought up Minnesota over the weekend on Fox News, and Tom Homan says, that people are telling him that they surrendered Minnesota. He's not exactly impressed with that.
The video now of Greg Bovino, who's standing there in front of the agents. They're about to go do an operation of some sort, and he kind of, with a lot of bravado, says something like, "Hey, don't do anything illegal, but go get it done. If they hit you, do what you need to with them." I don't want to paraphrase, but I don't remember the words. It seemed like the underlying messaging with the current DHS secretary and your role being brought back into the forefront, at least in front of the cameras, was that, hey, we're going to do just as much work, but we're going to be quieter about it. In other words, this Operation Midway Blitz or Operation what have you, it's not the headline we're looking for, it's the numbers. With that, did there come any change in tactics? Not strategy, but tactics on the ground. We talk about traffic stops. We talk about going after folks. Did the department or any of the agencies change their tactics and what they were telling agents to do with the change in DHS secretary and kind of posture?
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is just from knowing people that have been on the ground at these protests, like our friend Savannah Hernandez. She told me point blank, after Bovino was out, the leftists felt emboldened, and it got a lot more dangerous outside these ICE detention facilities. And I mean, we saw Savannah get plowed over by a grown man. So, there's anecdotal evidence there to support that.
Well, let me start by this. You want to compare this year to last year, one secretary to another secretary. We got 40% more arrests than last. So people say that, well, targeting operations don't work. Well, the numbers tell me different. We're arresting more people. It's like a lot what happened in Minnesota, Joey. A lot of people question Minnesota. You surrendered in Minnesota. No, we didn't. We went to Minnesota. President Trump sent me to Minnesota. I didn't ask to go to Minnesota. I was told go to Minnesota and fix this mess, right? We left Minnesota in a lot better shape than we found it. And why do I say that? Because when I went to Minnesota, it was chaos, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say we're looking for one bad guy. So you had a team of 6 or 7 fuse ops team to go in after this guy. Violence was so high that now you got to spend a quick response force, another team of 6 guys, to back them up. So we're arresting one illegal alien. We got 15 people out there, which again causes community concern, right? Mm-hmm. So when I went up there, what I did, I talked to the sheriffs, I talked to the chiefs of police, I talked to the governor, the attorney general, and the mayor. Now, I'm not going to agree with the mayor or the attorney general or the governor on anything.
Agree with some of those sheriffs, though.
But what do we walk away with? We walk away with just about every sheriff in that state willing to help us one way or the other. So what do agents arrest one bad guy, not 15? So what we did, we made that state less of a sanctuary state. So when that one agent now can arrest that one bad guy, what happens to the other 14 people that are out on the street? Guess what? They get to arrest more aliens. They get to go back to their home office and arrest aliens. Is it working? Yeah, numbers up over 40%. It does work.
Tom?
Targeted enforcement operation doesn't mean everybody's off the table. but it's a smart way in doing business. The number proves it's working.
I mean, it does feel like Tom Homan is on defense a lot during this Fox News interview. I'll bring you some more audio from Tom Homan on the way. We are tracking what went down in New York City this morning as a explosive device was found at the Federal Plaza in New York City. This is where immigration proceedings are held. Joint Terrorism Task Force launching an investigation. We'll bring you any updates on that should they become available. It looks like more updates are coming in. We'll bring you those when we get back. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. And I'll be honest with you, foundation issues are one of those things that as homeowners, we don't want to deal with. You'll see a crack, maybe a door doesn't close right, your driveway starts sinking, and you think, well, I'll get to it later. But here's the spoiler alert. Later actually usually means more expensive. This is why you need to call and trust United Structural Systems. They've been doing the work here in Tennessee since 1994. And what you can appreciate is how they do that work. No scare tactics, no overselling. There's not going to be a sales guy coming to your home, just an expert who's going to actually take the time to inspect your home, explain what's going on, and point blank tell you the truth. If you don't need repairs, that's what they say. And if you do, you'll understand exactly why before the work gets started. And they handle everything from foundation repair to crawl space work to concrete leveling. And they do it with systems designed to last. Right now, you can get it fixed and pay for it later. There are a ton of great financing options available for you. So don't let foundation problems get worse while you wait. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems. USSTN.com.
got the latest on an explosion outside New York City's Central Federal Complex coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Looking forward to those headlines with Joan Jones on the way in less than 2 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Our friend John has been holding on the line for a minute. John, welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
I don't always agree with everything, but the last few minutes while I've been listening to you, you've been pretty spot on everything.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
What you're saying there.
It's mainly you're mainly anti-soccer, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
And everybody, all these people doing this, it kind of reminds me of the whole "emperor has no clothes" thing. They all know it's boring too.
Yep.
They know it's boring, but they don't want to say it because everybody else is on it.
They taken the soccer pill. It's embarrassing. What do you got? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Oh, also the other thing on the that one of the clips he did with Tom Homan really kind of emphasized the thing. It was the whole thing was just full of excuses. They're way behind on. They should be doing millions.
Yeah, they really should. And I'm not putting all the blame on the ICE agents. I'm not even putting all the blame on Tom Homan. I'm just saying, point blank, it's not the mass deportations that we were promised.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah. I don't think him. I'm just saying he was throwing the excuses out, not his blame, but
Yep.
But yeah. Hey, we're in this new 9th district now, which is I think a lot of your listeners are. And we don't get a lot of you have interviewing a lot of candidates from other districts, but we don't get I'd like to see some information from our candidates here, some interviews type thing.
So I know in the ninth that Dan has interviewed both Todd Warner and Brent Taylor. But there's 4 candidates in the Republican primary. It's Jeremy Thompson, Todd Warner, Brent Taylor, and Charlotte Bergman.
Yes. And it's the last one I'd really like to get on there, though. She everything, they all say the right things, they're speaking to us kind of, so they all kind of say the right things. But Charlotte Bergman is, she really hits home on at least all the things that I'm concerned about. And she's really with a lot more enthusiasm than the rest of them. She's just not your normal, the rest of the run-of-the-mill candidate. And she's pretty unique.
I mean, here's what I'll tell you. They're all welcome on the show. All of the candidates for the 9th district. I messaged Charlotte Bergman on Twitter on May 8th, and I have yet to receive anything back from them. Okay. So they're open. I'm open to having them come on. I don't even know if they read my message. So
right. Yeah, she's a little bit unique in it. She's Memphis, and they don't really know, they don't really know W2N over there as much, right? And she's unique in a lot of ways, for obvious reasons, but which is I think would be a really cool statement for us as the party to have somebody like that there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep my eyes on the race, and any of these candidates that want to come on, John, they're more than welcome to. I appreciate your call. It's 10:01. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10:01. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The Joint Terrorism Task Force and the FBI are both investigating an explosion outside 26 Federal Plaza in the heart of New York City. Happened this morning. A man was seen setting fire and then tossing an incendiary device into the fire, setting off that explosion. Now, that man has been arrested. He was reportedly also carrying a gun. The plaza is home to the FBI, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Details are kind of slim right now, but from what we know, there have been no injuries reported. The United Kingdom has a new prime minister. He is the 7th in 10 years. His name is Andy Burnham.
Britain needs to show the world that we can regain our stability once again. And that is our challenge, to make politics work, to make it work better.
ABC's James Longman on whether Burnham can get along with President Trump.
We know that Trump and Burnham sit on fairly opposite ends of the political spectrum, but we also know that President Trump holds a lot of importance in interpersonal relations, so they might get on. But Andy Burnham has a huge challenge ahead of him. There has been a lot of political instability here. He is the 7th Prime Minister in just over 10 years.
Other news of the day, the Republican National Committee is heading into the midterms with a record amount of cash reserves. Newsmax reporting the RNC raised nearly $17 million last month alone and closed the month of June with $128.5 million in cash on hand. And that is the highest month-end total in the committee's history. Go ahead and sip that coffee. The American Heart Association, out with a new study, says that healthy adults can safely consume about 3 to 5 8-ounce cups of coffee per day. And there's more, says ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Study suggests coffee may even be linked to a lower risk of heart disease, heart failure, stroke, and type 2 diabetes for some people. But before you turn that small into a large cup, experts say more isn't necessarily better. High doses of caffeine, especially from energy drinks and energy shots, have been linked to higher blood pressure and abnormal heart rhythms.
And researchers also say that sugary syrups, heavy cream, and other add-ins may chip away at some of coffee's potential health benefits. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So the suspect who set off an explosion and fire at the New York City Federal Building is reportedly, and I know you're going to be shocked, I know you're going to be stunned, an anti-ICE leftist activist. Whoa. Are you sure? They should double check. He could be a right-wing extremist. It is who we thought it was the entire time. And if you're watching on Super Talk TV, in his belongings, there was literally a sign that said, "ICE off our streets." The Federal Plaza houses ICE offices and an immigration court. And I think that we can all agree Democrats and their rhetoric caused this.
And Bowens, we are tracking breaking news. You can see it right here. This is out of Lower Manhattan. You can see the smoke that's rising from the ground. That security guard walking out, and the officer, maybe a courtroom official, who's also just walked out there. This is a troubling incident outside of one of the most sensitive federal buildings in New York City this morning. It looks like fireworks apparently sparked a fire near 26 Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan. The FDNY received a call around 8:30 this morning. This is Worth and Lafayette Streets. 2 engine companies and 2 ladder companies rushed to the scene after fireworks reportedly ignited some kind of rubbish, a garbage can, something like that. You can see this immediate quick action from emergency personnel who are down there. One person suffered a minor non-life-threatening injury. That particular person was treated at the scene but refused any further medical attention, did not end up at the hospital. The incident was closed by about 9 o'clock this morning.
So this is a story that we're tracking all morning long. We're going to be keeping our eyes on it. Another leftist terrorist attack because ICE is removing illegal alien murderers, rapists, gang members, and so on. It's too much for these leftists. They can't handle it, so they have to resort to terrorism. You know, it's funny. Tom Homan was making the rounds over the weekend, and he literally called this on Fox News' show. I think this was Saturday, Sunday, whichever it was. He said, you know, the rhetoric that's coming from the Democrats, it's going to cause more violence. It has caused violence, and that's what we're seeing.
You read the radical left, call them Nazis and racists, and which is the reason why the threat's up so high. You got members of Congress want to call them racists and secret police when they're simply enforcing laws they enacted. And if they're Nazis and police for enforcing the law they enacted, what's that make them? They wrote the law. So because that hateful rhetoric is why these are attacks. That's why we have necessary to wear masks. That's why the violence. That's why the shootings. I'm putting the blame back on the Democrats because they have messages for a year now. ICE isn't a real law enforcement agency. You need to resist. Right? I see resist at every protest. So now the population out there says it's okay to take ICE on. So if the open borders people and the Democrats on the Hill will stop the hateful rhetoric against ICE and recognize you're a legitimate law enforcement agency that's keeping this country safe, and they're working for the greatest president in my lifetime who's done more for border security than anybody. Most secure border in history of this nation because of President Trump. We even beat Trump 45. Record numbers deportation because of President Trump's leadership. So I wish that the Hill, the congressman on Hill, you know what? Strap up. Put a gun in your hip, put a Kevlar vest on, go up with the ICE agents, now badmouth them when you see what they're dealing with every day because you're hateful rhetoric.
Yeah, and we're seeing it now in New York City this morning. An improvised explosive device, an explosive device of some sort at a New York City federal building where they hold immigration court. Also, over the weekend, Tom Homan was talking about Mayor Zoran Mamdani, the esteemed leader, the best Ugandan socialist Muslim mayor that New York City has ever had. And he's going after him because Mayor Zoran Mamdani is taking pride that New York is a sanctuary state.
Well, look, he can have his opinion, but he's not going to stop ICE from doing their job. What he should do is go talk to the parents of Lake and Riley. Because there's a place, that alien that killed her was arrested in New York City. If it wasn't a sanctuary city, he would have been handed over to us and he'd been locked up, probably deported. Go talk to her family. And, he talks about he doesn't want to assist in civil immigration enforcement. Okay, so why'd you lock us out of Rikers Island? Because that's all criminals. Mm-hmm. So he just don't want immigration law enforced. And he's damn right. Every illegal alien in this nation that's here illegally, across the border illegally, which is a crime, needs to be deported. That's called the rule of law. If he doesn't like it, call your members of Congress, tell them to change the law. But he's right. President Trump is sitting in the Oval Office today because of his promise to secure the border. We have the most secure border in history of this nation now. And because he promised mass deportations, which we're doing. Matter of fact, I read in a lot of social media posts that we're not living.
When he says that Zoran Mamdani locked him out of Rikers, like, you need to tell this to the rabid leftists in the streets who say, we can't have the Gestapo on our streets. We can't have these Nazis on our streets. They wouldn't be, actually, if they were allowed into the jails, and it would be safer for everyone, up to and including these illegal aliens. They wouldn't have an opportunity to drive a car at an ICE agent and then get shot if they were being picked up in the safety and security of a jail. But they don't want to do that. This is going to become a talking point as we head more closer to the midterms. It's a talking point that's been there for a while, but it's not going away. ICE are the Gestapo, ICE are Nazis, and illegal aliens are our neighbors and friends. And the rhetoric is leading to some violent situations where we're seeing now explosive devices at the New York Federal Building, but this is after we've seen, ambushes in Texas, snipers on roofs, and so on and so forth. I'm over it. ICE needs to go full bore and just crack skulls. I mean, honestly, there's no other way getting around it. If people want to play stupid games, they're going to win stupid prizes because ICE is just doing a job. They're getting some dangerous people off the streets. It's the rhetoric from the left that is making this way more dangerous. There was never this kind of danger associated with ICE under Barack Obama, because at that point, everything was going according to the plan. Now the plan has changed, so these leftists and their rhetoric have ramped up, and it's making it more dangerous for everyone. Tom Homan said, just in case you're keeping score at home, ICE has never arrested anybody in a hospital, never arrested anybody at an elementary school, never arrested anybody at a church.
But I can tell you right now, I go out quite a bit. It's more dangerous now than it ever has been, because of the false stories, the rhetoric. ICE has never arrested anybody in a hospital. Someone's got a case, give it to me, because it's not happened. ICE has never arrested anybody in elementary school. You got a case, contact me, because it's never happened. ICE has never arrested anybody in a church. The only people that violated the sanctuary of church was Don Lemon and that group.
Yeah.
But you hear all the time, people don't want to go to church, people don't want to go to schools, people don't want to go to hospital because they're afraid of ICE. That is fear put in the immigrant community by the Democrats who wants to turn the public against ICE. Again, you can't name one example we did that. Another discussion I had with these Democrats on the Hill, and they kept saying, we want central location policy. I said, why? Are we doing something wrong? Give me one case. Any of you, 'cause I hear you all talking about it on the news. Give me the specifics. Not one.
Well, they just want to give everybody a heads up. They want to pass that information along so that we can get into the right communities. But Tom Homan, he's on point. I want to see the numbers up. I wouldn't put that blame directly at the feet of Tom Homan. But the rhetoric from the left, it's been there every step of the way. Oh, gee whiz, Renee Nicole Good, she was just dropping off her kids. Alex Preddy was just a peaceful protester. The illegal alien, he was just driving a Prius. It was going 2 miles per hour. What did you expect? It's like, no, none of that is okay. Margaret Brennan had Tom Homan on over the weekend on Face the Nation. Margaret had to bring up the fact that the illegal alien who was shot in Maine and the illegal alien who was shot in Texas, they were just scared because they didn't know who was coming at them. And Tom Homan said that's bovine scatology.
These individuals who were chasing the man who died, they didn't have markings on that vehicle that would allow for him to know that they were ICE.
The illegal alien that died.
It just looked like a car coming after them in the videos.
No, they have emergency lights. Officers have insignia, so when they get out of that car and approach the car, you can clearly see they're law enforcement officers.
Well, in the video that has been public, it's not a marked car.
These people, I'm not saying it's a marked car, but they have emergency lights and sirens, so when they pull somebody, they're going to activate the emergency lights. A lot of police departments, I'm in New York City right now, a lot of NYPD officers are driving unmarked vehicles, and that helps them find people that don't want to be found, right? So, but bottom line is, we'll see when the investigation plays out, but they would be alive today if they simply complied with a vehicle stop by federal law enforcement. Just comply. You can, if you don't think you've been treated right and they had no reason to stop you, then there's avenues to take them to court.
He's not wrong. Now, this is the same crowd who wants to defund the police altogether, so I'm sure they're not fans of unmarked police cars in the first place. But Tom Homan is not wrong. Meanwhile, more violence this morning in New York City. Federal building, explosive device has been found. They're labeling the suspect as a leftist anti-ICE activist, and it's a story that we are absolutely following here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Tom Homan over the weekend, it's like he knew. It's like he had predictive programming that New York was going to become an issue because he kept speaking out against Zohran Mamdani and Governor Kathy Hochul and more. And he actually said, I believe it was on Fox News, Fox News over the weekend, that they're going to be storming into New York at any moment, surging the area to go after these illegal aliens.
If she did so, that we would see more ICE agents in New York City than we've ever seen before. I know that you've also reviewed operational plans. What's the latest on that? When can we expect to see those ICE agents?
You'll see me at a press event when it's over.
It's a tease.
I'm not going to,
Any timeline
forecast
you'd
any
like to share?
enforcement operation. But here's another politician that says she said 100 times she believes in the enforcement of immigration law against those criminals, but then she locks us out of the jail. She can't square that. She says she cares about enforcing against criminal illegal aliens, but ended the 287G program where we were working with sheriffs in the jail. So if an illegal alien is sitting in that county jail, chances are he's not a choir boy, he's a criminal. But she locked us out of 287G programs. I looked at the data this morning, my chief of staff. We got just shy of 6,500 criminal aliens we took off the streets in New York. So the data doesn't match your talking points. In the 287G program, several hundred criminal illegal aliens were handed to us through that 287G program. Now that she ended it, those several hundred aliens in the future will be hitting the streets in New York, reoffending against the citizens of New York, who she should really be caring about.
So are we talking days or weeks, do you think?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Immigration enforcement in New York is coming. I think this is why the leftists are so rabid in their dropping bombs this morning. They heard what Tom Homan said, like many of us did over the weekend, and they're reacting the only way they know how, with violence. Again, if you're just joining us, there was a terrorist attack in New York City. Yep, I'm framing it that way because I don't know how you frame it any other way. Someone dropped a bomb at a federal immigration building, a federal building where immigration courts are held. The Federal Plaza holds ICE officers and more, and Democrat rhetoric fueled this attack. They are responding violently to the enforcement operations of getting these gang members, criminals, murderers, rapists, and more off the street. Tom Homan is not sitting on his hands, and neither are the ICE agents in New York.
So, come on, Tom. All right, fair.
What makes you think we're not already here? I mean, we got to remember, ICE is operating in New York City today. We're operating across the state today, but there's going to be a surge, and there needs to be a surge. But I am not going to show our hand because, there are groups, well-funded groups, who will try to impede, interfere. We're not going to give them any upside on this.
And because Tom Homan didn't give him any upside over the weekend, maybe those groups who are well-funded and well-organized, well, maybe those groups were involved in the bomb that was dropped this morning at the New York City Federal Building. We'll be following that story as the day progresses. It's 10:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. Take a second and picture the things in your home that are so valuable to you. I mean, it might be gold, it might be silver, it might be your firearms, but it might be something a little more personal. It might be the photo albums, the baby photos. We always hang on to the little bracelet on our newborns. Those are things that you can't replace if you lost them in a fire. And then some of your other more valuable things you definitely wouldn't want stolen. So how do you protect them? Well, let me tell you what. You make a phone call to Parker Safes and Vaults today. You can get all of those things protected from theft and fire. You'll never have that heartbreak of losing something you can't replace. You'll never have that pain of being violated by an intruder who takes away some of your valuables. You can get a real safe today, and there are people that will help you pick the right safe for your needs and your budget. One call to Parker's, and the experts are going to do just that, plus they'll professionally deliver it and install it themselves. This is a veteran-owned, family-run Christian business, and they've been helping people just like you with their security needs since 2009. These guys sell serious products designed for serious protection. Liberty, American Security, Rhino, Graph Under, just a few of the brands that they carry under their roof. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a safe, these are the people to call in Middle Tennessee. Today is the day to make the call. 931-842-6445. That's 931-842-6445. You can find them online, parkersafes.com.
Tennesseans embracing early voting. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Some Tennesseans embrace early voting. Are you an early voting guy?
I haven't yet, but I've considered it.
I'm like a day of kind of guy. You're an early voting? Gabe gave me a thumbs up. He's an early voting guy. Here's one thing I don't like, and maybe this is like a hot take, but I was talking with my wife about this. President Trump was like, mail-in ballots should only be for extreme cases. It's like you're overseas in the military, or you have a disability of some sort, or you're sick. But then he added, or if you're on vacation. And I thought to myself, no, I don't like that. Plan around Election Day. Plan around it. Plus, with the early voting, you can go in way earlier and cast your ballot in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
Gabe agrees.
I only vote early because I really could not, I already know who I'm voting for. So in my head, I'm just like, I could not be bothered to wait longer to vote, Gen Z mentality. I'm like, I just want to vote for them now. I already know who I'm going to vote for, but I do get the concerns. I am, for the most part against it, even though I do it myself. I'm a total hypocrite. But yeah, I just could not be bothered to wait.
I think I got turned off by early voting and all that. And this was during the Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, John Fetterman debate. So there's a lot of people in that election that cast their ballot and then they realized John Fetterman couldn't speak. You know what I mean?
Under block nationalism.
Yeah. He's just like, he got out there and he was like, good morning. It's like, not off to a hot start, John. But what do I know? He won anyway. I think everybody's where they need to be, you know? Dr. Oz is in the administration. He's really putting in work in the federal anti-fraud task force. And then Fetterman, he's ready to leave the Democrat Party. So I guess everything worked out okay. But that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't know about early voting. Probably day of. Meanwhile, we are covering the incendiary device that was set off outside New York City Fed headquarters as the terrorism task force probes the anti-ICE attack. New York Post has this: an armed maniac lit an incendiary device outside a federal building in Lower Manhattan early Monday in an anti-ICE attack being investigated by the terrorism task force, according to officials and sources. The unidentified man started a fire outside of 26 Federal Plaza around 8:30 a.m., igniting fireworks and threatened passerbys with airsoft rifles around 8:30 a.m. Federal police took the perpetrator into custody and found a cart with anti-ICE messaging on it, sources said, with immigration agents among those who responded. This morning, an individual deployed an incendiary device outside of 26 Federal Plaza, the FBI confirmed to Fox News in a statement. He's been taken into custody, and the FBI New York Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating the incident. The man was pulling a cart containing long firearms, more fireworks, and other items, sources told the Post. 3 people, including 2 firefighters, suffered minor injuries during the incident and were taken to an area hospital, sources said. The Jacob K. Javits Federal Office Building is home to New York's ICE field office in Manhattan, as well as offices for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and Immigration Court and other federal agencies. The historic building became a hotbed of arrests and detention during President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration last year. This is a developing story. We got a call real quick we'll get to. Gary in Portland. What's up, man? How are you? Hey, Gary, what's up?
Okay. Thanks.
Gary? We'll do a wellness check on Gary. You sound a little bit like Charlie Brown's teacher there for a second. I hope he's not. But we'll get to Gary. Gary okay, you think?
I'll check. Hold on.
All right, we'll check on Gary. On the way, I got some more stuff from Tom Owen. I do want to get back into the Iran stuff. Plus, I want to talk about the Democrats in the midterms. Absolute lunatics out there this weekend. AOC and Bernie Sanders, they're campaigning for Justin Pearson in Tennessee. AOC was, and then they're up in Michigan campaigning for that radical Islamist. And we'll talk about that and more. Plus, how it looks a little bit harsh, the path to victory for the House for the Democrats. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. We'll talk about that and more. It's 10:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. There has been an explosion outside 26 Federal Plaza in New York City. That's a hub for federal operations, including the FBI and New York Immigration Court. A man was seen setting fire and then tossing an explosive device into that fire. Now, on Friday, Border Czar Tom Homan on the Laura Ingraham Show predicted violence against ICE operations.
You and I talked about this 1.5 years ago, Laura. I said if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, there will be bloodshed. And I'm saying it right now. There's still going to be more bloodshed unless they shut their mouth and let ICE enforce the laws that they enacted.
As for this morning's bombing, it does not appear that there are any injuries. The Joint Terrorism Task Force is now investigating. A Memphis woman due in court today after shooting to death a man she found hiding under her kid's bed. Here's Action News 5 in Memphis.
36-year-old Kendra Scott, no relation to the company, has been charged and arrested with first-degree murder and employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. Her bond has not been set.
Police say the child invited the man into the home, opening the back door for him at 1 o'clock in the morning. And early voting drawing a lot of Tennesseans. The Tennessee Secretary of State reporting more than 75,000 people have cast their ballots over the weekend with a massive opening day turnout. More than 48,000 of those voters, Republicans. 24,000 were Democrats, with the highest turnout in Middle Tennessee in Davidson County. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. You've heard me, you've heard Mandis, you've heard Murphy for the past couple of weeks, and we're telling you about the big O-Site August events at the Glock Store, Friday the 7th and Saturday the 8th. And we warned you that the O-Site VIP experience on Friday the 7th was very limited and would likely sell out. But you didn't listen, and it is sold out, my friends. But that doesn't mean that you can't get hands-on training with the latest in O-Site optics. You make plans to attend the free O-Site Day event on August 8th at the one and only Glock Store. Free event. You'll have hands-on range time, great O-Site giveaways, exclusive in-store discounts, free O-Site swag, food trucks, and so much more. The O-Site fun starts at 9 a.m. and goes until 6 p.m., so make sure you save the date. That's the O-Site, Saturday, August 8th, and only at the Glock Store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Always, you can find more info online, glockstore.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Always unhinged, always lovable. Hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate you doing so. Gary in Portland. You there, Gary? What's up, man?
Hey, Chris. Love the show, man. Appreciate y'all standing up on the front line for justice. Wow. I got one question, man. I'll get off and listen to the response, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is, with the amount of law enforcement that we have in this country, why can't we track down the people that are funding these terrible people that are doing what they're doing to our ICE officers? That's the question I've got.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. You would think that they'd be able to. I'm kind of like in your boat. I want some RICO charges. I want everybody swept up in a raid. I feel like it should be a lot easier than they're making it out to be. And I think that it goes the same for the criminal cartels that are operating in this country, the Antifa networks, all down the line. With the amount of technology that we have, the amount of surveillance that we have, how we can't get these individuals, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Great. Appreciate it, guy. Y'all have a great day.
You too, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. I mean, Lord knows that we need to see some more. And I mean, we've had so many things. Like, they had the big Antifa task force. They had the big board meeting. They had, I mean, Nick Shirley was there. Savannah Hernandez was there. All these people that have been impacted by Antifa. Jonathan Cho laid out how these networks work. And we actually had Jonathan Cho on the show. It's a great interview. It's still relevant because there hasn't been any busts. But he talked about how these networks are laid out, how these networks operate, how they funnel money through the NGOs. If a guy like Jonathan Cho can figure it out, and it's not disrespect on Jonathan Cho, like, he's brilliant, but I'm just saying he's one man. If Jonathan Cho can figure it out as an investigative journalist, an independent voice out there in the wilderness, where are the federal agencies? It's increasingly frustrating. And you're not the only one that's frustrated by it, Gary. A lot of people are frustrated by it. We all want to see these anti-ICE activists taken out. We all want to see these Antifa networks taken out. We want to see the people that fund them, the George Soroses, just completely taken out and be made non-factors. Yet it seems like, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. I don't have a good enough answer for you. I could speculate, but that's all I can do. Let's go to our friend Brian on the road. What's up, Brian? How are you?
What's up, man? I called in or texted in earlier, and when you was talking about buying a bus or whatever for all them children you're having that basketball team you cart around, I thought you can probably pick up a cheap one from the Leering Center. I'm sure they got a repo or two.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll go on. What is it? Auto Trader. I'll go on Auto Trader. I'll just put in Minnesota and try and find one.
Yeah. Well, or ICE Motors. I think ICE has started a new corporation on the side, LLC, where they repo all this stuff.
They should.
I got a bone to pick about two things. First, Tom Homan, who is a 100% patriot that can't perform miracles. He's not a miracle worker. In some eyes, he is on this earth. To me, he is. He's a pure-hearted person. Worked for I don't know how many presidents, Democrats and Republicans alike, been jerked around all his life and did the best he could. I believe in him. Also, this is what kind of off subject, maybe not, the flock cameras.
Yeah.
You know, I watch a lot of police enforcement, law related TV shows and real, supposed to be documentaries and all that, supposed to be real, backed up by truth. I don't know if they are, but I believe in them, bro. If you had God forbid, one of your precious children had something happen, they pick them up pretty quick. I think Mount Juliet's a rising, shining star in that regard. They solved a lot of Metro's problems.
I mean, so here's my issue with the flock cameras. It goes right back to my kids. Like the CCP social credit system wasn't installed overnight. It started with cameras for your safety. It started with cameras to protect people. Then you infuse in all of the AI data that these cameras can be equipped with. It is a scary reality if we wake up 10, 20 years down the road, what these cameras could be. And
I get it.
While a conservative president or a conservative government might not use them that way, okay, what happens when a Joe Biden type president comes into office? What happens when they're trying to mandate a vaccine on everyone and they know you're not vaccinated and now they know you're driving down the street? Like, this is like a short hop and a skip. And it just goes back to the famous quote: if you're going to sacrifice your liberty for temporary safety, you deserve neither.
I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. I get it. I get Big Brother, okay? But I just don't think we would allow it to rise to that level. You might argue different. But if it saves one child, which it has done, it has saved innocent people, I'll say. Elderly, middle-aged.
That's literally the Democrat talking point for masks and vaccines and everything else we've heard. Like, I'm not against saving people, but like,
I know you're not.
It is absolutely going to go down that dystopian path of mass surveillance. And then you have the data centers popping up everywhere. Like, they're going to be able to process this stuff so fast, man.
I know.
So incredibly fast.
And I know your heart's in the right place, and I hope mine is. You saying something about that's a Democrat talking point almost makes me want to come down to the station. I mean, I don't get called that to my face by friends, and I surely don't get called, by enemies, which you're not. But I'm just saying, I get it, except that I want our law enforcement. I would defer to the law enforcement and not the liberal side, because there comes a time in a law enforcement guy's time where he has to pick and choose himself. He has to pick, what am I going to do and what am I not going to do based on what I'm being told. And that chain of command sometimes is pretty tough. But I say you do the right thing and don't worry about it. Not law enforcement, not military, any service, public service-oriented jobs should pledge allegiance to the Constitution, both foreign and domestic. But I know they don't, but that's what they should do.
I mean,
that's all I got. Get you a bus at the Leering Center. I think you pick a cheap one up.
All right. I appreciate the call, Brian. I can't get behind these flock cameras. I cannot get behind the flock cameras at all. There is no bone in my body that will ever get behind the flock cameras. Like, it is too dystopian of a reality when you break down what these cameras do or can do. I mean, no, I'm not a fan. And, again, will a conservative government do that to you? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, will a Democrat government do that to you? Probably. Like, will it help us catch anti-ICE activists and Antifa terrorists? Sure. Will it be turned back around on conservatives who are protesting at an abortion clinic? Absolutely. Like, these two things, it's a double-edged sword. The conservatives who were out there protesting government shutdowns during the COVID scam, they would have been tracked by these flock cameras. The same way, and I get it. I get the talking point on, well, we can catch Antifa and we can catch bad guys. Well, we should have been able to do that without the flock cameras. I mean, there's so much video footage of these Antifa terrorists out there in the wild. What have we done that's old-fashioned police work? Why haven't we brought down RICO cases on them? I mean, all of that would be a much better use of our time. But no, I mean, you can try and sell me on the flock cameras. I don't believe that this is the right move for America. A private corporation having access to all of this. The police departments, I mean, there's already been cases where you have police officers tracking their exes or tracking their family members and looking up things that they may or may not should be looking up in these systems. It's not all police officers, but it's there. I mean, the ability to abuse this technology is there, and it is scary, and I think that we should push back against it. But if you got nothing to hide, if you have nothing to hide, what do you have to fear? I just don't think that they need to know everything about me at every moment of every day. I just don't. And when you compound this data over years and years and years, how they'll be able to predict where you're going and what you're going to do, spooky. Absolutely spooky, and I want nothing to do with it. I just don't. So You can agree with me or disagree with me on the flock cameras, but when you see communists in the Democrat Party rising to the levels that they're rising to, and you realize that we could be the ones building the infrastructure out for them in a dystopian communist future, I don't know what else to say. And you're absolutely looking at the rise of communism in the Democrat Party. You couple that with AI, right? There's going to be millions of jobs lost. You're going to have a candidate that pops up pushing universal basic income, and you're going to have a lot of young voters that latch onto that because they have no hope for their own future. And then boom, we're in communism here in America. And that infrastructure, the flock cameras have been built out. It's exploding across the country. We need to push back on it. It's one of the reasons why I like Fritz here in Tennessee. He's the only one speaking out against the flock cameras. The only one. So, talk to me if you like it or don't like it. 615-737-9096. Maybe you can change my mind. In the meantime, we do have, again, a rise of communism in the Democrat Party. We're seeing it everywhere. Mike Johnson has been speaking out about this. Speaker Johnson talking about where this communism and socialism ultimately will lead to if it goes unchecked in the United States government. And he was at the Family Leadership Summit over the weekend. This is Speaker Mike Johnson.
Not going to say if that's our reality, we're in serious trouble. And if you think that's a good idea, you are not a student of history. Because you know what that describes right there? That is the basis of Marxism, communism, socialism. You see, Marxism, communism, socialism begin with the premise that there is no God. And there's a whole different set of implications that follow that. Because if there is no God, it means all that thing about everybody having inestimable dignity and value doesn't apply anymore, right? In fact, you don't have any individual dignity or liberty or value that's inherent. You're just another social animal. You're just part of the herd. By the way, that is the basis of socialism, okay? And you know what happens to the social animals in the herd? They got to be directed, controlled, corralled. They may provide for them a little bit, give them some free stuff, but they're certainly going to take away their freedom. And ultimately, it leads to death.
That's Speaker Mike Johnson saying that communism treats you like cattle, and cattle needs to be directed, controlled, and corralled. Okay. Now zoom out and look at the flock camera infrastructure that we're building in this country. Is that too far of a stretch? Is that a stretch?
I told the students with their eyes getting a little wider, I said, let me tell you something. This idea of socialism, it's a Marxist idea. Marxism has led to the murder of tens of millions of innocent people in the 20th century alone. It is a trail to death. And I'm here to tell you it's wrong because it begins with the wrong premise. You cannot reject the founding ideal, the creed of America, and be able to defend your freedom.
I think that the flock cameras are a direct assault on our freedom, a direct assault on our liberty. And when Speaker Mike Johnson says that you'd be corralled, you'd be controlled, okay. The communism, it leads to tens of millions of deaths. Okay. Now, imagine for a second that you're going to a conservative rally and the flock cameras catch you. The AI designates you as problematic to our communist overlords 20 years, 30 years down the road. What do you think happens? We are building an infrastructure for the same evil people that we shame and we talk down about in China. We're building the infrastructure for them here. They're rising in the ranks in the Democrat Party. They're winning elected offices. The mayor of New York, mind you. You have congresswomen winning their primaries. They're going to win in New York, these Democrat socialists. You have them taking out 15-year incumbents in Colorado. This is coming. This is what the Democrat Party is going to look like. And the old school Democrats know we can't be talking negatively about these communists because if we do, we could lose our young voter base. I'm just letting you know, this is an issue. The flock cameras, they could be used for good, sure, but they could absolutely be used for evil. And I think the threat of them being used for evil is far more dangerous and weighs out any of the positives. It's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. My wife and I, we swear by Zero Res because we got 4 kids, 2 dogs, and a lot of dirt coming in and out of the house. We had a baseball tournament over the weekend. Red dirt. Oh, it's actually the carpet's favorite kind of dirt. Red dirt. Love it. Please take off your cleats in the garage. Sure thing, Dad. I'm in the living room, but I'll walk back outside for you. It's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, son. I appreciate that. We don't get stressed out about the red dirt. We call our friends at Zero Res. They have the Maha approach of cleaning your carpets without the harsh chemicals, leaving no soap residue behind. It's their exclusive ZR water system that actually gets everything out. Your carpets aren't just going to look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer. They're going to dry faster than any other carpet cleaning you've had done before. And it matters when you got kids running out of the house all day. Right now, perfect time to do it. 2 and 3 room specials going on. A 4.9 rating on Google reviews. These are the guys to call. 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376, and you can book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you'll have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
All right, Mother Nature has cranked up the furnace again. We're watching a tropical system in the Gulf and how it might impact Tennessee's weather. And federal authorities investigating after someone set off fireworks and had a couple of airsoft rifles outside a building in Manhattan that houses the FBI and ICE. These stories and more at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Looking forward to the updates in less than 3 minutes. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We were talking about the flock cameras a minute ago, and I said you're seeing these Democrat socialists rise up to step away from communism, and you're seeing it everywhere. And we got polls, we got campaigns. AOC was out over the weekend. She was in Tennessee. She was doing some code switching in the Memphis area for Justin Pearson, but she was also in Michigan, where she was campaigning for a radical socialist Muslim, Abdul al-Said. Abdul for U.S. Senate.
Politics that treats the disease and not just the symptoms of what brought us Donald Trump. Abdul al-Sayed represents the politics of the future.
This is really crazy. Not only does Abdul support Medicare for all, he wrote the book on it.
Money out of, money in your, Medicare for.
No, stunning and brave, says everyone in Michigan. But these DSAs, you understand what their plan is for America, right? If you don't know, they have put out their specific action plan, and it includes doing minor things, just very minor changes, like abolishing the Senate, abolishing the presidency, giving us a European parliamentary system. Yep. Their platform also calls for the complete abolishment of U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, pardoning all immigrants, including those who have committed crimes, and defunding the Department of War. We'll talk a little bit more about this on the way. Plus, AOC, as she's campaigning for all these Democrat socialists, she was asked, do you like their ideas? In particular, the abolishment of the Senate. Wait until you hear what she said. I'll bring it to you next. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night. Dangerous heat and humidity, they say. Heat index values well over 100 degrees all across Middle Tennessee. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, there's a tropical system in the Gulf gaining attention. Here's ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
As this keeps moving west and tries to get its life together, it could become Bertha. That could happen later today, whether it gets the name or whether it progresses into something a little bit more. Either way, it's moving west toward New Orleans by Wednesday into Thursday, and then eventually by the weekend into Texas.
Expect a higher chance of showers and thunderstorms later this week as tropical moisture spreads inland and impacts Middle Tennessee. Could be some heavy rain later this week. Of course, we got to watch out for tomorrow. We got a level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather tomorrow for much of Middle Tennessee. Looks like everybody along and north of I-40 at least. A man described by authorities as an anti-ICE activist taken into custody after setting off fireworks outside the federal complex in Lower Manhattan that houses ICE and the FBI. Law enforcement sources say he was also carrying 2 airsoft-style rifles. 2 people suffered some minor injuries. They were treated at the scene while the third person was being evaluated. Fuel prices climbing again. Here's ABC News. White House correspondent Karen Travers on what traffic is like in the Strait of Hormuz.
We're now seeing gas going back to that $4 a gallon average, according to AAA. Traffic in the Strait of Hormuz has essentially slowed down significantly again because of this week and a half now of ongoing strikes. There were 30 verified crossings in the Strait of Hormuz over the last 3 days, according to data.
Here in Middle Tennessee, Gas Buddy says we're up 5 cents since last week to $3.60 per gallon on average. A new twist in that massive lettuce recall amid the nationwide explosive diarrhea outbreak. The FDA now says one sample of Taylor Farms lettuce that had tested positive for the parasite was a false positive. But the recall is still on. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze has the latest.
This recall includes market-side brand iceberg lettuce from Walmart with use-by dates of between July 18th and August 3rd, plus bagged iceberg salads, shredded and chopped lettuce, and lettuce romaine blends that were sold to grocery stores and restaurants.
Well, there's a new study about coffee and your heart health out today. It's from the American Heart Association, and ABC's Stephanie Ramos tells us about it.
Researchers say for most healthy adults, up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, that's about 3 to 5 8-ounce cups of black coffee, is generally considered safe.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Called.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can join the show any way you'd like. You can jump in the unhinged but lovable YouTube chat. You can call us. You can text us, 615-737-9986. We've been talking about the Democrats and their socialism. It's just a more cuddly word for communism. Their agenda has been released by them, and people are going, oh, this is what you're about. Well, what are they about? Fox News has a write-up. Prominent House Democrats appeared caught off guard when asked about the newly announced plan by the Democrat Socialists of America that called to destroy the current American political system, eliminating the Senate, the president, and the Supreme Court. I don't support that, said Ro Khanna when asked about the new agenda. I haven't read the proposal. The revision to the DSA platform, workers deserve more, plans to abolish the Senate entirely and replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive branch and judiciary elected by and subordinate to Congress. Rep. Ilhan Omar, one of the most progressive Democrats in Congress, dodged answering questions on the new socialist agenda from Fox News Digital. Rep. Peter Aguilar from California said, I'm not a member of the DSA, so I can't comment on any of their documents. But one member of the House did feel compelled to answer a question. Maybe she was caught off guard. It was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, you want to give me a little audio there, Mason? Appreciate you, man.
Call to abolish the U.S. Senate. The New York Democrat repeatedly declined to reject the plan. And when I pressed her on whether she supports the institution, Ocasio-Cortez suggested elements of the Senate were racist.
I don't support the filibuster. I don't support elements of this institution that we know, were founded on Jim Crow.
Oh. You're telling me for the first time. I had no idea that the Senate was founded on Jim Crow. I thought the idea came before Jim Crow. I thought it was so that way states like New York and California wouldn't be able to run over the smaller states. But no, it's Jim Crow? Why didn't they just tell me that? Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of all of it. It's fine. This is fine. This is what they actually have in their plans. In a statement published Friday in Democratic Left, the DSA's official magazine, the organization laid out the formal requirements for these socialist candidates to receive an endorsement from DSA. Workers Deserve More will have a formal role in DSA's national candidate endorsement process. Candidates will be expected to accept and promote DSA's program and align their own campaign platforms with its contents to the best of their ability. So you gotta be in, or you're out. You gotta be willing to eliminate the Senate and the presidency, or you're just not going to fit in. Democrat Socialists of America co-chair Gustavo Gordillo, he was on Fox News, and he actually says that abolishing the Senate would be pretty similar to when we got rid of slavery, because that makes sense. This man he has family that was from Peru. And he was like, yeah, everything worked there except when it didn't. So now we got to bring it here to do it the right way.
Abolish capitalism in Peru. And we see some of those same threads in the DSA in terms of what it stands for. And one of the things is very basic. We've just celebrated the 250th anniversary of the country. And one of the most basic things is Article 1 in our Constitution. Are you in favor of abolishing Article 1 of the Constitution?
No, we support a democratic route to transformative change in the United States. We think that we need to put the working class before the billionaire class.
So you don't want to abolish the Senate, the United States Senate, because that's what Article 1 is.
The United States Senate is an undemocratic institution. It gives more representation to people in smaller states than to the 30 million people in California.
So you've got the House of Representatives, which is population driven, and then you've got the Senate. So every state, if you're a small state, you still get 2 senators, even though you only get maybe 1 congressman, in order to make all of the states have fair representation.
I love the way Martha McCallum is like feeding him like he's a baby bird. Like, that's actually the point. That was the entire point behind the Senate. Gustavo, I don't know if you knew that. He did. I don't think he knew that. I don't think he did.
So you say, I'm just confused.
When you ask normal Americans if Congress and the Senate and our political system is working for them, most people are very unhappy with the political system, and they say it's not working for them. When we think about the 250th anniversary of the United States, and we think about our proudest moments in U.S. history, I think of times like when ordinary people rose up and they changed the Constitution to abolish slavery, to give women the right to vote.
Everyone's proud of that.
And
that's a nationwide pride in the country.
But back in those moments, those were considered radical movements because those people dared to say we need transformative change in the United States.
Right.
Yeah, so let's get rid of the Senate. It'll be like abolishing slavery and giving women the right to vote. Obviously, you would understand that if you weren't just a racist bigot. Obviously, so there's that. This radical element of the left is actually pushing some of your more traditional liberals back towards the middle. One of those is Bill Maher. who he said on numerous occasions, he had J.D. Vance on his show. He said that his vote is in play, and he was on ABC over the weekend with Jonathan Karl, and he reiterated when it comes to these commies in the Democrat Party today, it absolutely puts his vote in play in 2028.
You told J.D. Vance you're open, your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course.
By the way, Jonathan Karl, by the way, Trump is doing that too.
Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
Great. That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel.
Right.
A piece of the AI company.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal.
Okay. Well, Trump's doing it too. It's a little bit different when they're saying we're going to seize the means of production. A little different. But Bill Maher didn't really back down. He said, no, he's out on these radicals because the communists and the pro-Islamists are taking over their party.
Democrats are cowardly.
Yeah.
They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new, very radical. I feel very good about, like 10, whenever years ago, like I did lose fans because, I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left, too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to want to do because it's all about my team or your team.
Yep.
But yeah, there's some crazy stuff. When we're cheering for the Intifada, I'm out.
Well, I don't know if you saw Jay Clayton is.
So that's Bill Maher with Jonathan Karl over the weekend. He's just having a bit of common sense. He's had a bit too much to think. Fun fact: he would be one of those members of the cattle that would be culled by these communists, just like you or I would. But Scott Jennings had a bit of a take on CNN. He was at a roundtable discussion. Jake Tapper's there, some of the usual suspects, and Scott Jennings says, "You guys understand that the establishment of the Democrats don't know this yet, but these socialists, they've already won the war in the takeover of the Democrat Party."
I think to boil this down to just insurgent versus establishment overlooks what many of these people are running on. They're simply beyond insurgency here. I mean, you've got people out there winning primaries that want to abolish borders, abolish ICE, abolish prisons, abolish the police, abolish the United States Senate. This is well outside the bounds of normal political discourse, and it's all happening in the Democratic Party. I don't think the Democratic Party leadership understands they've already been overwhelmed. And it's just a matter of time before these views become the mainstream platform. And that's what they're going to end up running on in 2028 as well.
Yeah, he's not wrong. And you know what? It might actually be really popular. It might. I think this is the next big battle in American history that we're staring down the barrel of. As AI continues to advance, we are going to see a lot of jobs lost. And there's going to come along a candidate who pushes for universal basic income. And a lot of voters are going to say, I'll take the free stuff. We're going to have to be ready for this fight. And as Scott Jennings says, Democratic leadership doesn't understand this, but they've already been overwhelmed. The Zohran Mamdani endorsed candidates are winning races. The Democrat Socialists of America say you need to bend to what we want or we're not going to endorse you. This is a reckoning. This is why you see classic Democrats who are like, Ro Khanna. He's like, we're a big tent party. We're a big tent. Okay. All right. Tell me how you really feel. And AOC, she's been positioning herself as like the wise elder when it comes to these Democrat socialists. Like she was there first. And you see her out on the campaign trail all weekend long. She was campaigning for an elite Islamist he's making like over $700,000 a year. This guy who he's saying he's working for he's out there for the working class. And he's making what, 7 or 8 figures, six figures. It's crazy how much money this guy is making in Michigan. Abdul Al Saeed. Fox News called him out on it. That he's what do they call it? Champagne socialists. Champagne socialists.
Financial disclosures show that these champagne socialists are hypocrites. Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed and his wife make more than 9 times the average Michigan household, while Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's financial records reveal her campaign spent tens of thousands of dollars on luxury food and high-end hotels. Tommy, I'm going to start with you.
They're just like you guys. They got to tax the rich, and that's such a joke. I mean, the rich, the top 10% in this country pay 90% of the taxes. Everybody's aware of that, right? The top 10% in this country pay 90% of the taxes. Oh, the rich aren't doing their fair share. I mean, that's what they've been saying at every campaign rally. AOC was in Tennessee over the weekend doing her best Southern Belle impression. She was code switching, as the kids call it, when you change your accent for one group and then you change it for another group. I thought that this was going to go the way of the dinosaurs because of the internet, but apparently AOC hasn't gotten the memo that you can't do the Hillary Clinton hot sauce in the purse thing anymore. But she's out there. She was there with Justin Pearson, and she was code switching. She was going full Southern Belle.
But fear not, they have AOC to lead them to victory, and campaigning in Memphis, Tennessee this week, the leftist darling debuted her newest accent aimed at winning over Southern voters. Listen.
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind. About a month or two ago, we're in Montgomery, Alabama. Sister Presley and I were in Montgomery, Alabama. And one of the things that we said was that it is time for the North to roll up to the South.
I do declare, Brother Pearson is the only choice.
We will not be chased out of places anymore.
Who's chasing them? I don't know. Are we chasing the Democrats out of places? I mean, I saw a story which we're gonna load up in the lightning round, where some patriots were chased out of a restaurant in Memphis, but it wasn't any Democrat socialists that were chased out of a restaurant in Memphis. AOC, this is code switching. This is as bad as when Hillary Clinton did it with the hot sauce in her purse. And Charlotte, she's like, I actually have a little hot sauce holster, just in case. Just in case. This is what Kamala Harris did. This is what Jasmine Crockett did. We've seen it time and time again, and it loses. It loses. But they're still going to push it.
Brothers and sisters, we cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind. There is no country when we are split apart. About a month or two ago, we were in Montgomery, Alabama. Sister Presley and I were in Montgomery, Alabama. And one of the things that we said was that it is time for the North to roll up to the South. It is long past time that we help our brothers and sisters wake up to. We saw this when Justin demanded action on gun violence, and the Republicans responded by expelling him from office.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. What do they say in the South? Oh, yeah. Bless her heart. 1121, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
but he did run, and then.
All right, we've got a heat advisory. We're expecting a cold front that's going to put us under risk for severe weather, and we cannot rule out tornadoes. And we're keeping an eye on the Gulf, where there is a tropical depression that could impact our weather later this week. And some man set off some fireworks with what appeared to be some sort of flammable liquid outside some offices, or rather a building that houses offices of the FBI and ICE in Manhattan. These stories and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Just a little Democratic terrorism to start your workday, right? No big deal.
That's typical Monday.
You know, people don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. It always do. It's 11:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Headlines with Ken Weaver on the way in less than 5 minutes. We've been talking about the midterms. We haven't covered the Nazi guy who is out in Maine enough, but there's a fresh batch of contenders. Have you seen the contenders? One of them looks like a very strong candidate. I would say very strong, partially because it's a man in a dress, going by the name Ashley Webb. This has been going insanely viral over the weekend. There was 8 candidates participating in a 2-hour televised forum. And this individual, who is transgender from Farmington, Maine, was asked, what are your qualifications to be the senator of Maine?
But he did run, and then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books, and then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people.
Yeah. It's bad.
Sorry, I had fun music underneath that, and I needed to get rid of that while we were talking about this guy. Girls.
Zer.
Zizum.
Zer. It's ma'am. Let's just bring back the qualifications to the top real quick.
But he did run, and then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books, and then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like, we get lied to, smoke and mirrors, like what's going on with ICE, pretending like these victims did something wrong. Like, that's unacceptable. And I suppose the biggest thing is, like, I'm just an angry citizen now, and if I got elected, I'd be an angry senator, and I think that would probably be their worst nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, listen, confronting an angry trans person is one of my worst nightmares. But I don't think that person's going to be senator. They were talking about it and they were talking about the replacements. And I think that Ashley Webb has been kind of pushed out of the running here.
Nominee and has already announced plans for a nominating convention. In his video, Graham says what comes next must come from the people of Maine. That ask comes as the state party accuses him of trying to manipulate the replacement process. People who could potentially succeed Plattner include former Maine Senate President Troy Jackson, former Maine CDC Director Nirav Shah, and Maine Secretary of State Shanna Bellows, among others.
The others also includes Janet Mills, which is Maine's governor, Valley Geiger, former mayor of Rockland, Maine, Dan Kleben, Maine Beer Company co-founder, Heather Cox Richardson, she's a historian and political commentator, David Costello, he lost to Plattner in the primary, and Jordan Wood, who is the former Katie Porter chief of staff.
Plattner's team, meantime, will likely face scrutiny over his vetting process. The New York Times reports a top Plattner advisor had promised a national Democratic strategist that they would not launch a campaign without completing a full investigation of Mr. Plattner's background. But according to two people familiar with the campaign's operations, no extensive effort was undertaken in one of the marquee races of the midterm cycle. They did not do exhaustive interviews with Mr. Plattner.
Tell me something I didn't know. You mean you didn't fully vet the Nazi tattoo/rape guy? You sure about that? 11:30 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Heat advisory in effect across Middle Tennessee. Heat index values climbing between 105 and 110 degrees, creating dangerous conditions for anyone spending time outdoors. This runs through tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, a cold front arriving late tomorrow into early Wednesday could trigger strong to severe storms. Got to watch that. We're also watching a tropical depression organizing in the Gulf. Its main impact on Middle Tennessee would likely be some enhanced rainfall potential later this week. So some things we're watching in the weather, and we'll tell you more about it during the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. In New York City, a suspect is in custody after smoke filled the outside of a Manhattan immigration court. In a statement, the FBI saying a person with a history of anti-ICE activity set off what it's calling an incendiary device. Here's ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Kontersky.
This happened outside 26 Federal Plaza, which houses immigration court. It's also where immigration applications are processed, and it has been the scene of protest before. But it was on the north side of the building where this apparent smoke device or some kind of firework with an accelerant, an incendiary device of some kind, detonated.
Yeah, multiple news reports cite law enforcement sources saying it appeared to be a makeshift incendiary device consisting of fireworks and a flammable liquid. A new twist in that massive lettuce recall amid the nationwide cyclosporiasis outbreak, giving some people explosive diarrhea. The FDA now says the one sample of Taylor Farms lettuce that had tested positive for the parasite was a false positive, but the recall is still on. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
Taylor Farms says that the FDA has not identified a single positive product that has tested positive for the parasite and that this recall is out of an abundance of caution. Last week, the FDA, though, did link the outbreak in 5 states to Taylor Farms' shredded iceberg lettuce that was sourced from central Mexico and supplied to Taco Bell restaurants. Taco Bell says that it has removed all affected products.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Are you paying too much for junk health insurance? Do you know if your insurance is good or if it's overpriced? You should talk to Shane Ring today. Cover Nash is simplifying everything. You don't have to deal with confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that bites back. It can be a lot simpler, and Cover Nash is doing that with a brand new nationwide PPO plan that gives you the freedom to pick your own doctors anywhere in the U.S. No referrals, no red tape. Just a $250 deductible, a flat $50 copay for any doctors, even specialists, outpatient surgery, $250 copay, hospital stays, just $1,000 total, and free preventative care. Now, here's the kicker. No surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that plan isn't the best fit for you and your needs, well, Cover Nash works with over 75 top-rated insurance companies. They're going to find something that works for your budget and your needs. You can visit covernash.com, or you can pick up the phone and call Shane Ring today. 615-465-0023. That's covernash.com or 615-465-0023. Cover Nash, making health insurance simple. Covernash.com. I have changed my tune on FIFA. I'm excited. June 26th, there's a FIFA World Cup match in Seattle. This was designated as the Pride match. So it's going to be the gayest soccer game you've ever seen. And everybody was really excited about it. And it's in Seattle. So you can only imagine there's going to be like naked bicyclists and like a lot of penises. Way too many.
Yeah, more than none.
The teams that were selected to play in the super gay soccer game, Iran and Egypt.
No.
It's like this has to be a troll. Both of them have like in Iran, if you're gay, that's like jail for life. And I think that's them being like lenient.
Yeah.
And Egypt also has draconian anti-gay laws.
Yeah.
I've never been so excited for a soccer game.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. We got some stuff to get to. We like to do it every day at this time. We have a name for it. It's called the lightning round. It's okay. There it is.
Lightning Round with Chris Hand.
A little delayed at times, but always electric. That's what the kids say. That's what they tell me. I've heard one kid, he said, "Is that thunder?" I said, "Stop. Just stop. Go sit somewhere." This is the lightning round. Oh, yeah, let's go. All right, so we've run through all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to. Stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment. Stories that we ran out of time to talk about. And sometimes, occasionally, I have to talk about something that my wife said to me. Is this really show prep? So then we fit it in here as well, so that way I'm not lying to my wife. I'll be like, no,
it's always working.
Of course it's show prep. Of course. Why wouldn't a guy bringing a kiddie pool to bring your own cup to 7-Eleven Slurpee Day be a lightning round story? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't that be something we would cover?
Why wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd swim in a kiddie pool of Slurpee?
That's the opinion-driven part of it. Some people like that. I'm just saying.
I mean, when it's 101 outside, I can't blame them.
We missed Slurpee Day this year, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really just like high fructose corn syrup day and food coloring.
But like, if it's just one day out of the year, you get your full 3 years worth.
Bobby Kennedy canceled it. He said no free Slurpee Day. Get water.
Get it out.
Free water day. All right, first story in the lightning round. This is spooky. I'm not gonna lie. This is spooky, and I don't know if it will work. Okay. New York School District to become one of the first in the United States to introduce a humanoid robot into the classroom. You heard me correctly. A New York school district is bringing a robot into the classroom. This is for the 11th and 12th grade. Sally will have a Western New York accent, just to keep it authentic, and will teach 11th and 12th grade students at Salamanca High School. Salamanca, whatever. Sally, this is what happens when teachers ask for raises, by the way. Sally, the robot, costs less than the average teacher's salary in New York, with a price tag of $57,000. The robot has brown hair, can move its arms and legs, but will not be able to walk around the classroom. Students will be able to log in so the humanoid can recognize students and their previous interactions. The humanoid will be helping teaching code, robotics, and AI classes. The school district promises that the robot will never replace human teachers, even though, like I said, one of the selling points is that this costs less than a teacher's salary. I got a video for you of Sally. Do you think it comes from the same manufacturers that some of the weirdos on the internet would like the robots for?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Couldn't you have given it a more 1980s female gym teacher aesthetic? Wouldn't that have been better?
Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't go with that at all. This is Sally. Hold on, let me turn the volume up here. This is Sally. Kids are going to love this.
I make emotional connections by learning your preferences, remembering past conversations with our custom memory system, and responding in ways that feel personal and consistent over time, kind of like a very attentive friend with patch notes. I do not actually feel emotions the way humans do.
That's good.
But I am designed to recognize them, mirror them, and behave as if I care. So the connections...
Behave as if I care. Don't worry, kids. I'm programmed to behave as if I care.
Honestly, I feel that sometimes.
What's the difference between that and a teacher that was there before being paid to pretend that she cared? You know?
feels real and supportive for you. Here to talk robots, vision systems, and how not to be lonely with AI.
I'm Melody, the world's first ever greeter robot, debuting my dazzling AI charm and modular style at the 2025 Bitcoin.
Did these robots need lip fillers? Did they?
Absolutely.
That was just a prerequisite. All right. Yeah. So New York School District, they're getting themselves a robot. That's pretty cool. It's not dystopian or dark or anything like that.
You sure about that?
I'm sure.
You sure about that?
This is better for everyone.
You sure about that?
Especially the kids.
Allegedly.
All right. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. I'll be honest with you. I'm not even mad at this restaurant owner at all. I'm not. People are up in arms over this, and I think it's actually a good thing. It's happened in Memphis. A restaurant owner is facing mass outrage and several protests in Tennessee after deciding to ban National Guardsmen from his restaurant, saying that he doesn't support the crime crackdown. He prefers little kids in Memphis not being able to ride their bike. He prefers teenage girls in Memphis to be going missing. He prefers the gang violence. So, when the Memphis Safe Task Force arrests 11,000 individuals, gets 1,900 illegal firearms off the street, locates 150 missing children. This restaurant owner says, no, I'd rather have the gang members and the firearms. I'd rather have the missing kids because, reasons. Let's listen in. This is Fox News over the weekend.
A Memphis restaurant finds itself sparking nationwide outrage this weekend after refusing service to members of the National Guard. Madison Scarpino has that story for us. Madison.
John, National Guard troops and other federal agencies have been in Memphis for almost a year. They're part of President Trump's Memphis Safe Task Force with the goal of fighting crime in the city. And when it comes to the local restaurant owner denying its members service, he says he'd, quote, make the same decision tomorrow. So this happened at Tamboli's Pasta and Pizza last weekend. The owner, Miles Tamboli, tells Fox Digital he does not support this federal operation. He says National Guard troops working with local law enforcement makes the city less safe.
Go on about how it makes the city less safe, sir. Can you describe that as what? 150 children that were missing have been located. 1,900 firearms have been taken off the street. 11,000 arrests. The city is way less safe. This doesn't make it any more safe. I actually don't mind this at all, though, because I don't want to spend money with people that hate me. And so by Tamboli's owner just refusing the service of the National Guardsmen, I know that if I ever go to Memphis, albeit probably a low probability, I'm not ever going to spend money at Tamboli's. And I actually thank the restaurant owner for helping me make that decision. My Uncle Bob, love him. He used to always say, why would we not want our Nazis wearing armbands? I want to know who the Nazis are. And the same goes here. I want the radical leftist lunatics to show us exactly who they are, because then I don't have to do business with them, and you don't have to do business with them. And if you're often in Memphis, you can now make an informed purchasing decision about where you want to go out to eat. Do you want to go out to eat at a restaurant that refuses service to National Guardsmen and think that the work that they're putting in to make Memphis more safe is useless? Or would you rather go somewhere a bit more patriotic? Would you rather go somewhere that's, appreciative of the work that these National Guardsmen are putting in? That ain't Tamboli's. So I thank them for the honesty and all sincerity. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing me exactly who you are.
He says they were trained for combat, not to do the work of police officers, and many locals are supporting his decision.
I am not for the National Guard. I am not for us turning our cities into militarized states.
Anyone has a right to determine who they allow in and out of their establishment. No casi comatose. There's no reason uniformed soldiers should be on the streets of America anywhere.
But other people are outraged at Tamboli. Some are protesting outside his restaurant, and many people from Memphis are praising the work of the task force has done so far. This morning, Border Czar Tom Homan said the federal agencies involved in the Memphis Safe Task Force are just trying to make dangerous cities safe.
And Tom Homan's right. I mean, and listen, these guys just wanted to get some spaghetti. Just wanted to get a little pasta. They were hungry. They're not militarizing the streets. These residents who said no uniformed soldiers should be on our streets. Well, kids shouldn't be afraid to ride their bicycle either. And that's what you had going on in Memphis. I said, we had police officers. They should be doing this work. They weren't, though. They weren't. And finally, Trump and Governor Lee stepped in. It's probably the greatest decision that Governor Lee made over the course of his tenure as governor of this state. And it probably should have happened a long time ago. Tennessee is never going to reach the heights that we want to get to if Memphis isn't along for the ride. So, outside of giving it to Arkansas, there's no real way to elevate Tennessee without cracking down on this crime. And it should have never been allowed to get to this point. And praise God that the Trump administration and the Lee administration are doing something about it. But to the Tamboli's owner, I'm actually grateful that he did what he did, because it shows us exactly where we should and should not be spending our money in the city of Memphis. And Tamboli's is not deserving of our hard-earned money. It's just It's just not. So thank you for your honesty. Thank you for showing us who you were. Tom Homan did comment on this.
And going after my family, saying ultimately that he's going to keep doing what he's doing and that he's turned over these threats to the police. He's kind of playing the victim here. But, you know, to just insult these Guard troops, it's just such a terrible decision to make. But your reaction?
It's disgusting. Has this guy ever served this nation? Has he ever strapped a gun to his hip and go out and defend people he'll never meet? National Guard are defending this nation. Look, President Trump, and I say this all the time, I think he's the greatest president of my lifetime for a lot of reasons. But he is making this country safe again. Look what he did in Washington, D.C. with the help of the Guard. Look what he did in Memphis with the help of the Guard. He promised American people not only would secure the border and have mass deportations, he's going to make this country safe again. So National Guard is helping ICE and FBI and DEA and ATF and dangerous cities to make them safe again. National Guard had a big piece of that. That pizza owner ought to be thanking them for making that city safe. So it's disgusting. But then again, it's all based on the hateful rhetoric from members of Congress who want to say, you know, they hate President Trump no matter what success he has.
Yeah, I mean, and if the National Guard left tomorrow and the street that Tamboli's is on descended into a war zone, he would be the first one on the phone calling to get those National Guardsmen back, and everybody knows it. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. There it is. A little lightning for you. Canada. These guys, what are we going to do with them? We got another wildfire going on, and they have failed to contain their wildfires. And a lot of smoke is coming into the Midwest. And Senator Bernie Moreno says the U.S. will be sanctioning, holding assets, tariffing, and withholding visas from Canada after the wildfires went rampant and harmed the health of millions of Americans. Good. It's about time Canada found out the hard way. We are sick and tired of Canada thinking that they can just blow their hot air our direction. Listen to this.
Well, Laura, look, it's very simple. We're being gassed. We are being systematically gassed here in Ohio. We have a very short summer. We are in peak summer right now. You can't go outside. It's absolutely horrifying. You wake up in the morning, you see air quality index that says hazardous, stay indoors. And like you said, this isn't the first time. It's not the second time. It's the third time this has happened. And we're not going to put up with it. This is totally avoidable. And it's not due to climate change. It's due to leadership change in Canada that's caused this problem.
Well, and we were in Washington, and I was leaving very early this morning, and you could see the news feeds of the Lincoln Memorial looking toward the Capitol, except you can't see the Washington Monument.
I mean, the smoke's everywhere. It's New York, Chicago, Ohio, D.C. It's encompassing the Northeast and a bit of the Midwest as we speak.
No Washington Monument. It's just a cloud of smoke. And you're thinking, who knows what kind of damage this is going to do to vulnerable lungs, and people who have no alternative but to work outside. So there's a real health issue, there's an entertainment, recreation issue, and a business losses. Clear business losses.
Yeah, let me put this in perspective, Laura. If you took every automobile in America off the road for 1 year, we had no cars, no trucks for an entire year, that's about the amount of pollution that is happening during this 2 or 3 week period of time, and it's being dumped onto primarily the Midwest. And when I hear politicians like Carney and Ford say that we should help when they could have avoided this problem, it's disgusting. We're going to put sanctions on them. That means holding their assets, making certain that they don't have visas. We're going to put tariffs, as President Trump talked about it, because we have to make certain that the people who are suffering get compensated. This is an abject, avoidable disaster. And the left, who, by the way, talks about climate change every single day, this is the worst environmental disaster you could ever imagine. Every car in America for a year, pollution in 3 weeks dumped on the Midwest.
And it's all because of poor forest management. Where have you heard that one before? Oh, yeah. Leftist liberal states like California, who also blame the wildfires on climate change. It's 11:52. That does it for the lightning round. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And now through the beginning of August, my friends at Busy Bee said, don't worry about the sales on the HVAC units. Don't worry about the plumbing deals. Those are all fine and good. You can still get those great deals. But we need you to tell the people about something important. So I said, okay, what do you got? They said, we're having a back-to-school drive, and we need the community's help. So right now through the beginning of August, you can bring some back-to-school supplies to the Busy Bee headquarters in Lebanon, and we need essentially everything. Notebooks, pencils, crayons, colored pencils, backpacks, folders, hand sanitizer, tissue, rulers, you name it. If a kid needs it for school, you can bring it down to our friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. The drop-off is at their location in Lebanon. The address, 137 Southside Park Drive, Lebanon, Tennessee. 137 Southside Park Drive, Lebanon, Tennessee. You bring some school supplies down there, Busy Bee is going to grease the wheels for you. You'll receive a $50 off coupon for any service just by donating those school supplies. A lot of kids need them. A lot of kids don't have them. You can step up and help Busy Bee fill that gap. The back-to-school drive is going on now through the beginning of August. Anything a kid needs for school, bring it to the headquarters. You can thank them for that coupon later. BusyBeeHVAC.com for more.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
It's 11:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Mason Fleming and Gabe Victal producing. We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Chad Benson's in studio.
What?
Chad said, what did you talk about today? I said, we were just rejoicing that the World Cup is over because nobody cared about soccer at all.
Yeah, totally. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared.
It's the best part about it.
Nobody did.
Don't be sad it happened. Be happy it's over. That's the old saying.
Is that what it is?
I think that's the old saying.
Look, I understand why people feel that way. I say the same thing about baseball.
Do you?
All the time.
Really?
Yes. All the time.
It's an objectively better sport on every level.
I say the same thing about baseball. I always have.
I actually found myself saying that over the weekend. We had a tournament.
Yes, you did.
We had a tournament. It was like 110 degrees, and we were really gung ho for the boys. And we had both of them in Lewisburg, right? So we were there, but by the third game, a loss could actually be just fine.
I hope we get run ruled.
It is really hot out here.
Oh, how hot was it?
It's I don't know. It felt like 110 degrees.
Does it feel like?
Just sitting there baking.
Because you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there, and it's just you're melting.
Boys, your poor mother is pregnant. Will you just strike out for mom? Can
do
somebody
it for mom,
do that?
guys. Do it for mom.
Somebody
Ground one to first.
Yeah. Can somebody do that for mom? Thank you.
But did they have fun?
They had a blast. That's
really all that matters.
Yeah.
All that matters. Did you learn something? Did you have a little fun? That's it.
It was so hot. I don't know what we learned.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah, you know what you learned? It's too hot to play sports like this. Swimming, Dad. We're doing swimming next.
Give me a dome.
We're doing indoor swimming.
Baseball was meant to be indoors in these months.
Dude, here, oh man, I tell you what, it was a bit spicy because I got up yesterday and I went outside and I was like, man, it is way spicier than in my 66-degree apartment that I realized because you feel that. I was like, dang, this is disgusting out here.
What are you talking about today on the show?
Talk a little bit about the governor's race, DC blocks. They said, hey, we closed on this thing. And everybody's like, not so fast because we got other ways we think we're going to be able to take this thing from you. So we'll see how that goes. Talk a little about the World Cup, obviously Iran, a bunch of other stuff like that. It'll be good times.
Chad Benson's in next. It's 12.